I didn't really have an endgame in mind. I just knew that I was
Really?
done. That this was the last time. I drove 4 hours to Flagstaff. It wasn't much as far as plans go, but at least I was certain of it. Just keep my engine running and the wheels straight. That's all there was to it. I wouldn't turn around. Not this time. After that, I'd figured out. On my grave, nothing could get me to go back. Not this time. Not even the sky falling down. And then it did. All at once, it just turned on. There was no build or warning. One moment, it was a typical frigid desert night, and then it wasn't. It was so bright that I nearly ran off the road. But not like the daytime kind. It was like a trillion neon signs packed too close together, all being lit up at once. It's weird how quickly you calm down after something shakes your whole world. Here I was, confronted with cosmic shapes filling the sky, shifting and swirling and dancing in ways that makes your mind fold in on itself. But it wasn't long before I was just wondering if the sun would stop or
Screwed up.
my tires. Hell, people were pissed when I called to check in on them. Why the
Boink.
f*** are you calling at 3 a.m.? I just told them to look up. That's what I keep coming back to. The return to normal. The sky was on fire, God knows what, and I actually drove 3 miles to the next turnoff to get back on the southbound freeway. Because crossing over the middle was illegal at 3 a.m. with no other cars for miles, with the sky on fire. I was trying to call the entire time. I hadn't called Mom yet to let her know I was going back to check on you. Whatever. It's not like I was staying. Alive, dead, somewhere in between. I just needed to know. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life wondering. So I kept calling. And my phone died. Emptied by my persistence. A little reminder that this wasn't all just a dream. Normal. The old normal? Driving along the flat and endless highway. Sun crawling through the sky. The new normal. Driving along the flat and endless highway. Sun crawling through the sky. I was wondering if I could see it when it came up with all the other lights. Still could. The sun was the same. But the road, it wasn't so straight anymore. Maybe it wasn't any less straight. I don't think I even turned my wheel. But I kept driving by places I had never seen before. This is a road I had driven 100 times for more years than I care to admit. But I'd never seen that avocado stand before. Or that gas station right off the highway. Hell, do they even have those roadside gas stations anymore? Complete with a banjo playing local in his blue overalls, strumming along next to his old dog? Was this road always 4 lanes? Or did it used to be 3? I think it was always 4. It's funny how you might know something like that, but not really know it. I couldn't tell if the mountains used to always be there. I could have sworn I used to drive at night because I didn't want the sunset to blind me. But wouldn't the mountains have covered that? The way the hills would roll forever, little buildings jutting up at random peaks and valleys. Was it always that way? I came across a little gas station sometime later. One of those little wooden shacks with a mesh door straight out of a cheesy horror flick. It was old, impossibly old. Like, no card readers on the pumps old. No one around to help. The windows to the station were so caked with dust that I doubt anyone inside would even know I was here. Walking up to the door, I was met with the strangest odor. It was like a peppermint Christmas flambe covered with jet fuel. I couldn't tell if I wanted to vomit or dance. Opening the door, the smell became overwhelming, but I was somehow okay with it. It was like taking a bite of cake that's just too sweet, but you keep eating it anyways. The inside? Well, it wasn't a gas station at all. It was filled wall to wall with paintings. There didn't seem to be any consistency in the styles other than that they were all off. Not surreal or even dadaistic randomness. It wasn't uncanny or frightening, and yet it was deeply unsettling. But it wasn't trying to be. It just was. Whatever that indescribable quality, the paintings kept getting more so that, even without words to describe it, my mind could tell it was there, slowly being perfected. And that drew me further in, down a long and endless chasm narrowing into infinity, until I found them, hunched in front of a blank canvas. They were weeping, laughing. It was both. It turned to me as I approached. I wanted to paint a face that never existed in a color we've never seen. It was choking back tears. It grinned with a wild abandon. The eyes were clawed out of its head, and yet it saw me. It knew my shocked reaction. Eyes were getting in the way, but now I have seen. Now I can see. Now I know. It looked at me, locking eyes. Then it blinked, and it was gone. I turned. I was never more than 10 steps from the door. I walked back to my car and took the nozzle out of the intake. It didn't really matter. I didn't have far to go. I could just walk. So I did. I was already home. I just hadn't realized it before. You greeted me at the door. You missed me. You were terrified. I couldn't find you anywhere. You were furious. You were dead. I never left. Never came back. I killed you.
Boink.
It's like rabbits before we met. I was in love when I kissed you. I left because I hurt you. I never moved in. I never loved you. I understand now. We'll always be together. I will always be without you. That is just one me. Infinity of that one. There are countless others. An endless fountain of infinity. I'm still learning. But now you're dead. You never really were alive. That is you. Only endlessness awaits me.